trust that horse to get back on his circle. If I try to tell them exactly where I want them over and over again, I end up over-correcting. And that's when you get that hesitation and kind of bouncing in and out off their circles. So if you watch, those ladies will look over at Taylor now. She's just going to fix and let go, fix and let go. We always go to the saddle horn, not because I plan on falling off at a walk, but because eventually you got to hold on to that saddle horn like your life depends on it, because someday it will. When these horses turn those barrels, that centrifugal force is going to put you in the back of the saddle, and you got to hang on to something. So if I don't have the horn, I'm going to hang on to his mouth, and that's going to slow us down. Every time we contact the mouth, we're costing ourselves time. So I want to be on the saddle horn, turn the barrel, pull myself up in the saddle, go to 2 hands, and run to the next barrel. So these ladies are walking their perfect circles, and now we're going to go on to figure 8s. When we change directions, when we go from the first barrel to the second barrel, we need to be able to change hands. And when we do, we don't have time to look down and find the right spot. This is a timed event. These horses are moving. So when I go from first to second barrel, I need to be able to find the exact same spot on my rein every single time. So before my name is called, I get my reins adjusted, exactly the length that I want. I'm going to run to the first barrel. As I get to the first, I sit down, drop to the saddle horn. I've done all of my perfect circles, so my horse turns that barrel by himself. As I'm going to go from first to second barrel, I put my thumbs together, slide my hands body width apart again, and now I've got exactly the correct length of rein running to my second barrel. As I get to the second barrel, I'm going to sit in, go to the saddle horn, drop that rein. So now again, my horse makes a perfect circle. 2 hands again, look to my third, ride to your third barrel. And as you get there, the same thing. Sit in, drop to 1 hand. You probably came to a barrel demonstration expecting to see some fast action and a lot of fun. It is so much, probably 99% of the time, we're walking. I do so much training at the walk. I want you to go as fast as you can go perfectly. If you can run 35 miles an hour perfectly, more power to you. That's really fantastic. But I'm going to go slow. I'm going to go as slow as I have to explain to them where they need to be. And then I can turn them loose and trust them to find those spots. So, when I pattern a horse, I want to go through that briefly and then we'll come back to it again. When I am patterning them, I'm going to ride 2-handed up into that spot 6 feet from the barrel. Now, you notice my horse is perpendicular to you all. He is straight on. When we run, we're typically going to run from an alleyway near the center of the pen, so we might be angled a bit. If I practice with him angled at the first, at say a 45-degree angle, then I'm teaching him already to drop his shoulder in, kick his hip out, and not be collected. So in my slow work, I want to keep that hip to the inside. Also, when we add speed, what we do, we're barrel racers. When we go faster, we lose 30% of everything. You lose 30% of your mind, your memory, 30% of your turn. So I'm going to practice that perfect circle, and then I'm always going to over-finish. So I'm going to ride to a spot 6 feet from the barrel coming into it. The first barrel has 4 points, so now I'm riding to 6 feet here, 4 feet here, 2 feet here. Now I'm going to over-finish that barrel. Later on, we're going to talk about what do I do if my horse won't change leads from first to second, or he changes late and that puts me out of position for my turn. That starts here at a walk. Over-finish your barrel, pick up your left side of your horse, right there's my lead change. So I went from right bend, coming around that barrel, to left bend, and then straight across to the second barrel. I'm looking up, I'm riding to that 6-foot mark. So I'm 6 feet off my second barrel, sit in, walk around that barrel, 4 feet, 2 feet. I call the second barrel a lollipop turn because I want to over-finish this one also, and I want to make a straight line from second to third. So his tail is lined up with the second barrel, his head is lined up with the third barrel. I'm going to over-finish that because if we lose 30% on practice over there, I'm going to be that person that really goes out running to the third barrel. So I'm going to over-finish, and now I'm riding my horse straight at that third barrel. As I get to the third barrel, I'll step out to the 6-foot mark, sit in, drop to one hand, and come around. Again, over-finish that barrel. If I am exhibitioning, if I'm at a competition and I'm doing a paid practice, then I'm going to come off that third barrel, over-finish, and ride straight home. If I'm at home, I might ride around the outside edge so that I can come right back in and get out of pattern again. So that's the pattern and how we're going to ride that. We've got the perfect circles. Now, ladies, let's go on to straight lines. So there's two parts of this, perfect circles and perfect straight lines. 2 points and 2 hands forward, that's our straight line. Now, when we get to the barrel, every time we contact our horse's mouth, we're costing ourselves time. So, if I go to that barrel and I sit and pull my horse in the ground and then I pull him around the barrel like this, I'm costing myself so much time. We're leaving a lot of time and a lot of money on the floor right there. So, I teach my horses to work off my seat. As I 2-point, that tells him go forward. As I sit in, he should stop and take a step back. Now we can start our problem solving already, because as I sat in, this colt's feet kind of did what I wanted, but he stuck his nose out. And what did I do? Kind of nothing. I didn't release, but I didn't pull harder. I'm going to go repeat. So if my horse gives me kind of a horsey middle finger there and flicks his nose out, I'm not going to pull on that, because I don't want to count on that kind of timing that I can correct him with exactly the right amount of pressure. But I'm going to repeat it. And as I repeat, I'm sitting in a little bit harder, a little bit sharper. That was better, so now I just get out. Anytime your horse gets in trouble, there's 3 pieces to it. Get in, get out, get over it. He's going to learn. You see, when he makes a mistake, he didn't panic about it because nobody has scolded this horse in a way that's unfair. I let him pull against my hand and correct himself, and then I'm going to go ask again. And I got it again, so now he's going to get a little correction. I'm going to pull on him a little bit, because that was rude. Get in, get out, get over it. I'm going to act like somebody else did it. I'm not holding grudges. I'm not mad at him. He's baby, he made a mistake. Sit down, and look at that. He backs right off my rein. So it's just repetition. That's what I do when they get in trouble, is repeat, 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 and then give them a rest when they do it correctly. If you folks were here with Guy's demonstration in the last hour, it's all good horsemanship is good horsemanship. So, we're doing our exercise here. Let's watch Taylor again. So Taylor, you're going to sit in, please. Back up, looking straight ahead for now, and then roll Silver around. 2-point off and head out the other way. Good. And these horses are at different stages. That's a finished barrel horse. So Becky did a nice 180 and that horse came around pretty quick and smooth. That's great. We're going to turn until we love it. If she got a little bit stuck, I might stay there and fix her a little bit. So that's got our straight lines and our circles. I keep it interesting. I might sit down, roll them around. I like that. So now I'll sit in and do a perfect turn. And as they get more broke, I'm going to add a little bit of speed. I'm not going to add speed I'm always working to build their confidence. So if the ground's a little tight like it is here, I'm not going to lope up and stop them because that's going to hurt their hops. And then we're always teaching them. So what am I teaching him? I'm teaching him that stopping hurts. So why is he going to stop the next time? I want to teach him that the right thing is easy. So we keep our ground pretty soft at my house. And when I sit in and stop, I want them to be able to put their butt underneath them comfortably. Ladies, let's show them some one-handed circles, please. So we're going to walk a barrel-sized turn. Again, with giving horses that independence, I want to ride this one-handed. We're going to walk a barrel-sized turn. But I want my horse coming down the pattern. I want him grown enough that I can help him if I need to. So if I'm coming into a barrel and he's a little bit close, I can flick my wrist an inch and say, oh, that's too close, that's too far. Sit down, the ground is slick. I want to be able to communicate that with that horse by moving something just an inch. And that comes back to good horsemanship. You have to sit quietly. I want that horse to respond to a whisper. So if I flick my wrist, I want him to say, yes, ma'am. That's where these horses are. If we just tip our wrist, yes, ma'am, what would you like? So we're walking that barrel-sized turn. Then we're going to be able to move out just a little bit. So look to a circle 2 feet bigger and step out to that. And then sit on that circle. Just letting them walk, doing as much as necessary, as little as possible. So we're out on a bigger circle, and now let's look out 2 feet bigger. My horse didn't quite follow my eye there, so he just gets a little nudge with my hand and my left leg. And then I want to be able to look in 2 feet smaller. And that horse should just follow my body language. So early on, we talked about being really square through the shoulders and hips. How's he supposed to follow my body language? If I look off that way, look where this poor colt goes. He just walks all directions. You have to own your part of the problem. We're here today to talk about problem solving. You better own it. Whenever I have a problem with a horse, the first thing I'm going to think about is, where am I looking? There was a clinic that I did once with a gal that was riding around, and she was doing all right, and she's riding the second barrel, and every time she'd get about here, that horse would step off. And so we worked, and he wouldn't do it anywhere else. Well, where was she looking? Every time she got here, she looked up at her husband over on that side of the pen, and that's where he goes. So you've got to own it. Are you square? Are you correct? Are you looking where you're supposed to go? I want them to listen to me whisper. My part of it is I better whisper. I better not be talking to my friends and doing this with my reins. So, with problem solving, whatever my problem is, first I'm going to look at myself. Next, I'm going to call my vet. I want my vet to go over my horse and make sure we're not sore somewhere. This horse, honestly, is a good example. The last couple days since I've been riding him on a little bit tighter ground, every time I stopped him with a little bit of speed, he sat in and he took his hip and he kicked it just a little step to the right. I'm paying attention when I ride this horse and I'm listening to that. That just started. So, good horses don't just do bad things. Where could that come from? So I am going to talk to the vet. I'm going to look him over. The first thing I do on my own level is run my hands over him. We don't have heat. We don't have swelling. He's 4. It could easily just be growing pains. I'm not going to get excited and go get an MRI or something done. But I'm going to pay attention to that and I'm going to listen to him. Do I have a horse that's trying to tell me something now? I'm not going to wait until I'm running into the first barrel and he goes down the wall to think I have a problem. I'm going to pay attention to that horse. When my horses are in the stall and that horse goes to pee, I'm looking over the door. I want to see is he standing square when he does that. If something hurts, pardon me, he's going to put that out of position a little bit. Now I've got some information to give my vet. It's a puzzle. We have to work together. We have to have a team. My husband happens to be a farrier, so we're riding around together. That's the first thing I did was come and watch this colt. And you see him tracking differently. I don't feel anything. No, he doesn't see anything, but he does see it when he stops. We leave our colts barefoot for a good long time because it's the shoemaker's children. It's hard for him to get to them. So I'm going to leave him barefoot as long as I can. But this guy's signed up for shoes now. We're going to go home. We're going to get high shoes on him and see if that'll make him a little bit more comfortable to kind of row on his heels. So problem solving starts with me. It starts with the vet. It starts with foundation work. The next thing I'm going to do if I've got a problem with my horse is I'm going to go walk a pattern. And this guy's really not going to help us much with that. Miss Taylor, would you come walk a pattern for me, please? And she is kind enough that I can kind of use her for an example, and if this horse makes a mistake, she's going to be okay with it and not own it. So the next thing I do is I walk a pattern, and I let that horse show me where he thinks he's supposed to be. So Taylor, you're doing as little as possible, as much as necessary, and we're going to let Silver show us where he thinks he should be. She can't just sit there and do nothing, because if she looks straight ahead, you should go straight ahead. Drop that in. Don't help it. Now stop him right there. So he is in there closer to maybe 1 foot instead of 2 feet. I'm going to correct that. Just side pass it a tiny bit for me, please. And since he's a trail champion, for sure we can do that. Head on across to the second barrel, please. So she's just in a 2-point. She's looking at her stop. She's walking across there. And wait and see what he does. Does he get there and speed up? Does he get there and slow down? Does he stop too early? Well, you're a terrible example, miss. That was perfect. Straight at your third barrel. As she gets to the barrel, she's going to sit in, drop to one hand. And we can't even, oh, there we go. Now stop him. So what did you feel, Taylor? What did you feel and see? Yeah, so Silver came in a little too close, dropped his shoulder, and looked off at what's on the ground here. What are we going to do with that? Well, if he did this, we're going to do the opposite. Stand him up, step him away. And then go on around again. And I would be watching for him to get distracted, and I would bump him just a little bit aggressive, right to bump, and send him ahead. Keep those feet walking forward. I want that barrel to be very, very, go around again. I want that barrel to be very, very important to him. He needs to lock into that. That's right. Now stop side pass. That's right. You're going to get just a little tough and then really soft. Get in, get out, get over it. Act like somebody else did it. Good girl. Send him forward. Forward. Good, and then get out. You did the right thing, so we're done. You're going to finish a little. Good. So I walk that pattern and let that horse show me what mistakes he's going to make, and I fix him at a walk. And then when I do some patterns and I feel it's fixed at a walk, then I'm going to go to a trot and make sure that it stays there. One other exercise, one other fundamental that I didn't show you. Ladies, we need to do a spiral spin, please. So when we're walking, when we're on our pattern, for the most part, we want our horse round all the way around that barrel until we get to the very last part of that turn. So if I'm turning the first barrel and I get right back here, this is where I want my horse to sit in and find that next straight line. So that's the only time I'm going to touch the outside of my horse with the outside rein. The way we teach that is spiral to a spin. So I'm walking that circle, looking where I want him to go. I've got both legs engaged, but I've got my inside hand touching his neck just a little bit. Now I'm going to release the left leg, bring my pinky across, and he should follow that motion. Spiral down to a spin. Sorry for clucking in your ears. I use cluck to mean move your feet or I'm about to move them for you. So he didn't try real hard there, and cluck means try harder. But of course it punished you all more than him, I'm afraid. So I'm going to sit in. That's a little better. I want his nose to stay in. Don't make the mistake of inverting your horse this way. Keep that horse's nose to the inside loves her round circle. Watch that mare's front leg. The footwork is very important. That right front is coming forward and around, forward and around. We don't ever want to bring that right front foot behind. The outside front needs to come in front of, just like on a good reining spin. Any questions so far? Any questions on fundamental exercises? Yes, ma'am.
At what point when you're coming around the barrel should you be looking up and going to your straight line to the next one?
Oh, good question. At what point when you're coming around that barrel are you looking up at the next barrel? That's perfect. Let's go through one more time and I'll talk to you about where my eyes are. So, everything's square and set. They call my name. I trot, look, run down the alleyway. Right now I'm looking at my 6-foot mark, 6-foot mark, 6-foot mark. On the barrel, I'm going to look different places for different horses. So if I've got a horse that tends to wash out and he needs my help staying hooked onto that barrel, and I have to tell you, it goes against my horsemanship to really tell you where I look on barrel races, because when I coach horsemanship, you sit up, you look up, your chin drops below horizontal, you are in so much trouble. But we're going to get real. This is where I look. So I look at the ground at the 6-foot mark that I want my horse's feet to go to. Now if I've got a horse that crowds the barrel a little bit, I'm looking at 6, 4, and 2 all the way around the barrel. If I've got a horse that washes out from that barrel a bit and needs help staying locked on, now I'm looking at the middle of that barrel and I'm looking at that and twisting around. Right about here, you're done. You are done with this barrel. There's no more good going to come from this. I don't care if you're here where I want to be or you're over there. You are so done. Start riding the next barrel. So when my horse gets behind the barrel, this is where I'm doing this, and I am completely locked on to that next 6-foot mark. 6-foot mark, 6-foot mark. 4 feet, 2 feet, here's where I'm done. Next 6-foot mark. See that horse snap his shoulder around there? That was very nice. 2 points to my next 6-foot mark. Sit in. 6, 4, 2, I'm done. Now, I'm done, but if I went straight home, where's that horse going? Is he going to go straight home? No, he's excited like I am. So if I look straight home when I come off the 3rd barrel, then we're that person that does this, and I'm kicking and pushing, but we're way over here. So when I come off the 3rd, I look at the 1st. And that's going to bring me straight home. Because we all get so excited. If you don't get so excited barrel racing, why are you doing it? So you turn the 3rd and you had a good run, so you, yay, celebrate, reach forward, but look off to the side a little bit. Or maybe, oh my gosh, that was such a horrible run and I'm starting already to process it. You don't have time for that. Look at the 1st barrel, finish your run. Good question. Other questions? All right, so let's start some problem solving then. Let's walk Jessie on pattern, please. Thanks, Beth. So let's talk about shoulder positioning. As I bring that horse into the pattern, I'm wanting them really squared up. I want balanced and level. So she's going to walk to that 1st barrel. And we already talked a little bit with Taylor's horse about what if she drops her shoulder. Go on around and then stop facing the 3rd, please. Good. So, for me, correcting horses is all about exaggerating whatever they did wrong. So, if she comes into that barrel a little too close, I'm going to nicely ask her to side pass away. Go ahead and do that, please. Primarily right rein, because we're going to have to do this one-handed. And then I'm going to let her go around again. And if you'll go around, please, and then pretend that she takes you too close. So if you just look at that barrel, she's going to come around too close. And then you're going to stop her and ask her to side pass away again, because we're feeling a little ignored now. And then go on around again. And we're going to pretend that, okay, we corrected it, we know she knows the difference, she's still too close. Now I'm going to take a step forward and I'm going to 360 her away from the barrel. So I want that horse to of my right rein. Push her off that right rein. Good. Now let her, after you do that, yep, and then go walk that circle again. And as I'm walking around, so pretend you're too close again, please. I'm going to touch her neck and say, would you please move over? And she says, yes, ma'am. If she didn't say yes, ma'am, I'm going to do that again. Great. And then, Becky, would you please show them how we do a regular turn and then a counter bend turn? So she's going to figure eight that first barrel. If this is a problem this horse has, she's going to figure eight that first barrel. So she comes around there. Then she's going to reach forward. Yep, help with that left rein as needed. But always going back to one hand. Look hard left so she follows your eyes. And walk around that first barrel. And figure eight again, please, with counter bend. Perfect. Yep, this is exactly it. She reaches up and helps her a little, and then she walks on again. You'll finish that first barrel, please, and then stop. And assuming she honors that rein, we'll pedal. Perfect. All right. Let's talk about hand position just a little bit. So, when my horse gets too close to the barrel, lots of people want that horse's shoulder over there, so they do this. What does this horse do when I pull straight sideways? Well, all I'm pulling is his right rein, so he brings his nose over to my boot. That's exactly what I asked him to do. Is that what you wanted? Your horse is too close to the barrel, so you pull hard this way. He kicks his butt to the outside and he sticks his nose on the barrel. That's not what I wanted at all. I want that horse to take a step away from the barrel. So, how do I get that? I don't really want this horse to go over there. This is not the trail class. This is barrel racing. I'm trying to run. I want him to take a step that way. So rather than pulling straight sideways, I'm going to ask him to step up there. I'm going to come grab this and treat this like my first barrel. So as I'm walking around that barrel, if I want that horse to step out, I'm going to shove him to his outside ear, pinky bump his nose in, push to his outside ear, nose in, shoulder out, nose in, shoulder out. Until he maintains that. So if this is a horse that tends to crowd the barrel, my slow work is going to come off the barrel a little bit. Nose in, shoulder out. Nose in, there we go. Nose in, shoulder out. If I've got a horse that tends to get too wide, he doesn't really lock onto that barrel enough for my liking, I'm going to close that in a little bit. Simply by changing where I look. If I sit down and in on this horse, he's going to come right in on top of it. I drop my weight onto my right hip, and he's going to follow that. If I sit square, he stays out where I am. So that's what we're going to do with a horse that drops into the turn too early. It's just good effort. There's no horse that wants to plow down a barrel. That horse is not fun. You can't convince me they're doing it on purpose. The reason they're doing that is good effort. They're just trying to do the right thing. They're trying to hunt that turn and get started. They've got the idea. I run around a little bit for this fool, and then she cuts me and tells me how pretty I am. Well, the faster I get that done, the sooner I get petted and I get to go back with my buddy to the trailer. They're not trying to hit the barrel. They're trying to get in and get out of the pen. So, get that horse to honor the inside rein. When I touch this side of your neck, by God, take a step that way. That's all it is, and that's all I have time for is one step. So that's if my horse is shouldering in. What if my horse gets wide on the backside? How about you go around again for us, please, and show us that. So she's going around the first barrel, and my horse gets wide back there. He's not tight hooked onto the barrel. He's wide there. Now we're looping around, and that means to be wide over here. What are we going to do for that? The horse is not locked into the barrel. If you're too tight coming in, you're going to be too wide coming out. That's hard for people to wrap their head around. If I come into the barrel too close, everybody wants to take that horse and jerk him over and say, you're too close. Well, they're going to make this size turn. No matter where I place that barrel in the turn, that's the size turn they're going to make. So if I'm too close coming in, I'm about to be too wide, so I'm actually pulling my horse in. That means showing us the opposite problem where that horse is too wide on the back side. Make your pocket bigger. So show us please maybe an 8-foot pocket. So she's going to make that pocket, and I find this especially with the young horses, give them the size pocket they need. They're growing, they're trying, they don't know what they're doing. Give them enough room to find a comfortable turn. So if that horse is struggling to finish his barrels, I'm going to step him out as far as I need to. If my horse is consistently hitting the barrel coming out of it, what do I need to do with my pocket then? Close it in a little bit. So you're going to move your pocket according to what your horse needs. That's the piece that I have the most control of. I can ride down the alleyway, put my hands at exactly the 6-foot mark, or maybe I put them at 5 or I put them at 7. I'm going to pick the spot that I want that horse to come in, sit down, drop to one hand. What else? Questions? Problems? Yes, ma'am. Let me get closer.
You may have already gone over it, but you were saying something about my horse brings his hind out from behind him when he goes around the barrel.
Yes,
So
perfect.
it's kind of like, almost like he rooster tails his hind end around.
Yes, ma'am.
So he has a lot of speed and power, and I want to get his hind end underneath him.
Yes.
I'm a strong horse. And I did have chiropractic work done because his hips were out.
Perfect.
So I did do that, but I was told that I need to do some more collection work with him because even though he's a barrel horse, he still needs to have a more round back and round body.
Yes, for sure. So she's got a horse, and also I want to aside, the presentation before we got done early, so we came in about 15 minutes early. So please don't hesitate to ask questions because you feel like, oh gosh, at least I wasn't paying attention. If you came in at 11, you missed a lot. Ask questions, and I'm happy to repeat it. They had to start early because the ring was open, there were people here, so we started. But that means no matter what time you came in, ask questions. I'm happy to teach, so it's not a problem to repeat myself. So the horse that she's working with kind of swings his butt out on the turn, and I like the phrase she used, kind of rooster tails and swings his butt out. She's had the chiropractor look at him, and his hips were out, so she's going to keep track of that. And sometimes we miss stuff. Maybe his hips have been out for a long time, so she's accidentally taught him that turning barrels hurts. We've all done it. We're doing the best we can with what we have, and once you find a problem, you address it. What am I going to do to really impart collection on my horse? That goes back to one of the fundamental drills we did of straight line, sit in, stop, and back. I want that horse really back on his butt. I'm going to roll him around, and I can do this with some speed when I've got good enough ground that it's not going to sting him, but I'm going to ask him to get a little quicker with his feet and really get back on his butt and get collected. I need him to lift up the middle of himself, and I really want that horse that struggles with collection to sit down. Your problem that you think is behind the barrel where he swings his butt started right here. And I'm going to repeat this a bunch of times where I 2-point up, I sit in, and he better put his butt under him and take a step back. Or I'm just going to keep repeating that. Now, a little side note that's similar to this, and with doing this exercise, what if my horse goes by the barrel? What if my horse doesn't rate and goes past the first barrel? This is great. I do a lot of this, but my stud, we're all learning and growing. My stud, who's 13 this year, taught me a lot about rating the first. He typically goes a stride by. So I stopped him, and I would trot up and stop and lope up and stop, and I really instilled that rate in him. And I thought I was doing great things. And then probably 5 years ago, it dawned on me that that's not working. Because what I was teaching him is, when you get to the first barrel, get ready, because I'm going to grab your face and stuff you in the ground. So then he got to where he kind of run to the first, brace up a little bit, still take that step by, and he's a good soul, so he'd come around and go to the next barrel. What I changed to with him, and with some of the others since then, is I always gear down him, but I might not necessarily stop. So I might do a posting trot up, sitting trot around, lope up, trot around, close up, walk around. But what I don't want to do is jerk him in the ground. And you'll see that so much that when I get to the barrel, the horse doesn't rate, so I stuck him in the ground. What you're teaching him is I'm going to hurt you right here. Get ready for it. So I got sidetracked there with your question as I was doing that exercise. I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you because the stud kind of took one for the team there, and I want your horses to not have to go through that. So my horse rooster tails out, he swings his hip, again with exaggeration. I want my horse broke enough that if I sit to the outside a little bit and I push his hip in, I can ask him, if you could do this with Jesse at the second barrel, please, and then go ahead and take Silver up to the third. I'm going to ask them to walk around that barrel, then to the inside, but I'm really exaggerating that hip staying in. And if the hip doesn't stay in, I'm going to stop and shove it around, get that hip to the inside, and then let him walk and see where he stays. And if I feel that hip come out, I'm going to reach back there and push it. Basic horsemanship, horses are going to give to pressure. So if I push that hip, I'm asking him to move his hip over to the inside. So it's all about the fundamentals. Now, when I make a run on that horse that tends to swing his butt out, I'm going to make sure, as I get to this barrel, that he sits down and rates. So I might give him just a little pull and sit him down a little bit and then let him make that turn. But it all comes from getting that horse collected, getting him back on his haunches. Good question. Other questions, other problems. How about horses that are hot at the gate? Anybody have that? Horses that are kind of rearing and dragging you in the pen? Or horses that are refusing to go in the pen? I want my horses to love their job. I want them to kind of drag me in the pen when it's my turn. But this horse's mother is the one that taught me about that. She was really, really hot at the gate. She was off the track. She was one of the first, she was the first barrel horse that I ever trained. And I was coming for pleasure horses, so when that mare started rearing and carrying on, that was a little disconcerting to me. Dina Kirkpatrick's the one that helped me with that tremendously. She's the one who does these figure eights and started me on that, and that has become such a huge part of my program. Holding still is the hardest gait for most of these barrel horses. And if you were at the clinic on Friday, I don't know that I held still ever. This horse had just gotten in here the day before, and standing still was really, really hard for him. So I didn't do it. We're not going to judge the event. I don't need to stand still to win the barrel race. So I'm going to put my horses first and do what they need. What he needed was to keep his feet moving. So when you're at a barrel race, you have to put your horse first. That means a lot of times I'm off over there in a field somewhere walking my figure eights. I'm not with my friends chatting with them. If he'll hang out like he is today, I'm going to sit and chat with him, sure. He's getting everything he needs. He's getting to look around. I stretched him out already. But if he can't stand still, I'm not going to pick that fight. That's not a priority for me. Barrel racing is. And I will tell you, if you want to pick that fight, there's a couple steps to it. One is go ride, get him tired so he thinks it's a good idea. If you think pawing is a good idea, just shift your weight onto that foot, and eventually pawing on that foot gets pretty heavy and hard, and he's going to quit, and then I'll shift my weight back to the center. If he continued to do that or he didn't think that he could stand still any longer, I'm going to make it hard for him, like turns on the forehand. So if he was wiggling, I really want to hold still. I want a good-mannered horse that'll listen to me. I'm going to pull his nose around to his hip. I'm going to push that hip around until he thinks I've lost my mind and why do we have to keep doing this? And then I'm going to drop my reins and make it his idea that we stand here. Now, do you think it's a good idea that we stand here? Sure. But when I'm at the barrel race, I'm all about what my horse needs, what he needs to be successful. So I am walking those figure eights. And probably 15, 20 horses before me, I'm walking those figure eights very far away. And I might be leg using my horse I've got my reins the length I want. We need to talk about reins too and why we're barrel racing and split reins today. Becky, don't let me forget that. We got to talk about reins. So I'm riding my figure eights. They call my name. I walk, trot, lope, run into the pen. I don't want to create that jackrabbit start where that horse is on edge, waiting, chomping on the reins, and not relaxed and listening to me. So that's what we do for gait issues. I will also go to a small jackpot somewhere that's real family friendly, easygoing, nobody's in a hurry, or I'll go the night before to a barrel race and I will walk figure eights outside the gate, walk in the gate, walk figure eights inside the gate, walk back out. Let a few more people go out and do figure eights, come back in and do figure eights. I spend so much time walking circles and figure eights. So that's how I'm going to make that horse relax. You have to remember, Becky just said this yesterday to a kid at my grandmother at the booth, and I loved it. You've got to remember that nobody else there knows what your goals are that day. We were talking with a grandmother whose granddaughter has a horse that's really hot, and how can she help her? The last thing I want you to do if that horse doesn't want to go in the pen is go in, and this just breaks my heart when folks will fight for the horse to go in, and then the horse finally goes in, and they whip and spur and jerk him through the whole run. Well, again, we're always teaching them, whether we want to or not, what did you just teach that horse? You taught him, if you'll go in there, I promise I will whip and spur and jerk on you. Who's going back there? Not me. So, you've got to do whatever you have to make that a good experience. You aren't going to win the barrel race anyway. That horse won't go in the pen. You are not there to take everybody's money that day. Go in, pet it, walk around, trot a pattern, and leave petting him with your chin held high because you put your horse first. Do not go in there and jerk and pull on that horse because that's not going to help anything. Anything else on that, Becky? You had smart things to add to that yesterday. Yes, what to do with our exhibitions. You have to, so exhibitions are paid practices. If I've got a paid practice and I'm at a big event that's time crunch, they tell you you've got 45 seconds or we're going to need a $50 penalty. I've gotten so I know in the back of my head pretty darn well what 45 seconds feels like on a ride. So I'm going to time that. If I've got a horse that's got a problem with the first barrel, I might just go work that first barrel. Now that being said, I don't ever lead in the middle of the pattern. I don't want to teach my horse, sometimes we turn the first barrel, head over here, and then we go that way. But I'll use those figure eights to get me off the pattern. So if my horse needs to come to this first barrel and relax, I might trot in there and then walk around it. I'm keeping an eye on my time, and now it's getting to be about 30 seconds. I need to get out of the way. I'm going to roll back around here and leave. That's if you're at an uptight kind of organization with a lot of horses to get through. If I've got a smaller jackpot where people are real patient with me, I might spend my exhibition money just coming in and figure eighting and go back out. Every time the tractor runs, get that horse in the pen. Use your exhibitions for what you need, not what the horse ahead of you did. We were sitting with Bo Hill in the stands once out at the World Show, and somebody came in and smoked a pattern in the exhibition. And I was like, wow, did you see that? She said, yeah, what did they pay him for that? Nothing. They used up their horse on their $5 exhibition, and nobody's going to pay them for that. They're not winning the barrel race there. When we exhibition our horses, we want to go in and set them up for success. I might cruise him through with a little bit of speed to see what he knows, but I'm not going to use it up there. I'm going to cruise him through and be ready to stop him and say, well, you didn't finish that barrel right. Let me help you fix that. Anything else? Reins, yes. Why are we riding these barrel horses in split reins? I run in running reins because I want my life to be really simple. Each horse I ride has his own set of running reins. They're set exactly to the length that I want. So, basic rule of thumb, if I'm running in a single running lane, I want to just be able to come back to the saddle lane. And then I'll adjust it from there, depending on the horse I'm on. It's a young horse that needs a lot of my help, I might shorten those reins up a little bit. It's a horse that drops at the first barrel, like the 6-year-old, 7-year-old that I'm running. That horse runs in and he drops out from underneath you. And if you've got a short range, which I did a couple times, you're going to get that rein jerked out of your hand, and you're not making any money that day because you finished the second barrel and then ran out because I had no rein. So that horse I ride on a longer rein. Why are we riding in the demo today with split reins then? That is because I ride and hone in split reins. I warm up in split reins all the time because I want to be able to get my reins to the perfect length for every single exercise. When we were doing perfect circles, we wanted our hands wide width apart, comfortable in front of us. When we're doing spiral to a spin, when I come across like this, he hasn't felt my outside rein yet, so he didn't come across. I'm going to do that exercise with my hands a little closer to center, so that then when my hand flattens, he feels the outside rein on his shoulder. What else? More questions? More problems? I'm going to look at my little cheat sheet here to see what mine forgot. Oh, lazy horses. We didn't talk about that. What if I'm in a barrel race and I've got a horse that doesn't want to go anywhere? Taylor, not that your horse doesn't want to go anywhere, but we're going to get you involved because you've been patiently waiting over there a little bit. I want an on and off switch. Of course, these race-bred horses, mostly I want an off switch. I want that horse to know, get quiet, get quiet, get quiet. When I drop to one hand, walk figure 8, get quiet. Now, this kind horse does all the events. She doesn't want him all racy and dumb when she does the trail challenge, but he needs an on switch. So, for this horse to have an on switch, I'm going to change gears a second. So, Taylor, you and I need to somehow get to the middle of that pattern. But we don't want to do a flyby. We don't want to pretend we're going to go plunge to the first barrel and then get over there. So I'm going to ask you to come around outside of the pattern and then come on up in the middle with me. So what does an on switch look like for that horse? What I'm going to have Taylor do is go back to this exercise. I'm going to pull the mic away a little bit so I don't reflect in here all ears. I'm going to ride this horse over, sit in, roll him around, and then pluck to him or kiss to him and send him off. And I want you to do a couple rollbacks here, softly. So sit in, stop him, back a step or two, roll him around, and now hustle him out of there with a pluck or a kiss, whatever works for you, and get him. Good. Now sit in, back up. Now I mean run to the other end. Go. Run, 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 run. Anywhere. Run. And ease him down to a stop. Go ahead and stop him. Back him up. Roll him around and hustle out of there. Run. Run. Hustle, hustle, hustle. There you go. Now ease him down to a walk. We don't want to tell him run and then jerk his face off for running, so we ease him down, stop him back. Roll him around, hustle out of there. Good. Sit in and walk. And pet him for that one. He got a little quicker foot in. And I would just repeat this. And this is one time when I might spank my horse once. I'm not going to make a career out of it. But when I kiss, that means move your feet or I'm fixing to move them for you. So I'm going to roll him around and kiss to him. And if he doesn't get out of there, I'm going to tap him on the butt. This is a great exercise to do outside in a field somewhere. The mistake that makes me crazy is I stop, I roll him around, I spank him, I fall back, I jerk him in the mouth. Well, what do you want him to do? You spanked him so he'd go, then when he went somewhere, you fell back and jerked out his mouth. You've got to know what you want and prioritize that. So if I want that horse to move, I'm all up. I don't care where he goes, just go. Move your feet or I will move them for you. Another thing that I do for those lazy horses that don't want to go is I change my feeding program. We feed Poulin grain, and Poulin has a race formula that we use. So all of my horses are on one type of feed, E-Tech 1 for the competition horses. And that's a nice balanced feed. Everybody gets that, whether they're my lesson horses, whatever. But if I've got a lazy horse, I'm going to feed him some of that. We're going to add some sugars, and we're going to make make that horse feel good. I want it to want to do the job. So I'm not going to beat the life out of him to get him to do it. I'm going to want him to want to do that job, so I'm going to increase the energy in his feet and make him feel good. Make sure that he really wants to go. Again, go back to vetting him. Does everything feel okay on that horse? If they suddenly change, then you've got to go to the vet. Just this year out at the World Show, a really nice mare that I got the opportunity to run, who I had trained a long time, I ran her and she just didn't fire. She did everything right, her barrels were fine, but she didn't fire, she didn't clock. I called my friends that owned her and said I'd like to go to the vet. Went to the vet, we scoped her, that mare had actually bled, respiratory bleeding, didn't come out her nose, didn't even cough. There was nothing external that said this mare bled, something's wrong. But I know my horse, I know that she didn't have the heart that she normally does. So we found out that she had bled. Good horses don't just do bad things. If something goes wrong, find out why they're doing it before it becomes a problem. Had I kept running her, then it can really scare her. When they bleed, they feel like they're drowning. So you need to get ahead of that. Any other questions?
Sorry, I had one more.
Yes, good.
My gelding is pretty lazy at the gate, but hot going in. It's kind of weird. Like, he'll stand like kind of in the grass. But as soon as I step on him when he gets hot,
Yep.
then I want to go in. So do you think I could still do the figure 80 and get him in that way?
Yes.
It's my nerves more than anything. I have like high energy, so you
Sure.
can get off of that. He loves running. Just it's so hard to get into the gates.
So her horse loves running, but she gets a little nervous when she steps on him, so he gets really hot. You want to come in, Mike, and anybody that asks questions, you can give them a t-shirt or a hat on, please. So her horse gets really hot at the gate, but he's lazy once he gets on pattern. So you've got to just, that's it, right? He's hot at the gate, but then he's not wanting to run hard on the pattern.
No, he does run good in the pattern. I'm just saying that if I don't get on him before the barrel race, like you're saying that I tried to work him before getting on the barrel. But the problem is like I feel like if I keep him calm, sitting, standing, just like in the grass.
Okay.
If I don't get on him, it's when he gets hot to the gate, and once he gets in, he runs really nice.
Okay, so that's all about an on and off switch. I want this horse standing around really quiet and relaxed. When they call my name, the on switch for my horses is, if I do this, you're getting ready to run. So don't ride around like this, not that you do. I'm just saying, you'll see people in the world and they ride around like this. I don't know what's wrong with my horse, he's so frenzied and nervous. Well, stop it. Let go of him. Don't ask for him to get cranky and nervous. So for me, this means we're ready to run. And similar to the way that she told that horse what the on switch was when it was time to go, if I pick my reins up like this, they call my name, and my horse is still kind of flat-footed, I'm going to take my over and under, and I'm going to tap him once on the butt. Wake up, it's our turn, they called our name, and I'm going to go running. You've got to be in control of yourself. Somebody has to be grown up. So you can't get nervous. Or you have to buy some old deadhead that'll ignore you when you say, oh my gosh, we're going to the barrel race. You have to find some deadhead that'll let you do that until you can control your own nerves. Somebody has to be the grown-up. And that's actually what keeps me calm at a barrel race. And that's how I ended up riding this horse, because he was a little bit nervous. I was going to ride Jessie, and this horse was a little nervous, and I was a little nervous, and I said to Becky, you know what, I need that horse, because I need to be needed. If I was on Jessie, she would ignore me, and she would let me be twittering and nervous, and I would not have been focused on my job. This horse, I know, needs me to sit down and breathe, and that's another good point, especially if you coach kids. You can't just say to a kid, relax, calm down. Okay, that's helpful. What does that look like? It looks like sit your butt down like you are on a trail ride, round your back, slouch, have a long enough rein that you can get out of that horse's mouth. And the huge one for folks that get nervous is breathe. Breathe deeply, let your horse hear you breathe. Concentrate on the exhale part of that, Big breath in, bigger breath out, and relax. What else? Do we have other questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's dumb. Let me write over there so I can. Okay. Okay, so she rides a horse, and whether she goes to the left barrel first or the right barrel first, that horse is not wanting to turn to the right. Is that right? Okay, so no matter where she goes first, she's tried changing directions, which is not a bad idea. That horse doesn't want to turn to the right. Back to the first thing I'm going to do is bet it. If he doesn't want to turn right, I'm going to bet it and make sure that there's not a physical reason for that. The next thing I'm going to go to is go as slow as you have to do it right. So I am not going to run that horse into the first barrel, grab the saddle horn, and just pray that all of a sudden he's going to turn. I'm going to run into the first barrel and rein him back. So even if I'm going a little faster, on that horse, as I get there, I'm going to sit down and bring him around slow and collected, closing both my legs. Closing both my legs, closing both my reins. I might keep that horse two-handed because I want him to follow his nose. I don't want to get into this where I'm pulling his nose as hard as I can and he's swinging himself all around away from him. Sit down, ride both sides of that horse. Make sure in your circle work that that horse is following his nose. Becky, maybe you could do this for me, please. Load some circles down there, riding one-handed, really letting her wash to the outside, and then we're going to show them how you pick up that outside rein and leg and get her following her nose. Since apparently when I load, you all get the movie story. So she's riding her around, and just look in so your circle gets a little smaller, but then use too much inside leg so that her nose is in and she's washing to the outside. And go ahead and touch her neck so that she washes to the outside. Then she's going to take a hold of her with the outside rein also and square her up. It's really bad geometry, but she's going to make a much more square circle. She's going to ride the outside of that horse even a little bit more, so that her nose is in front of her, and we're reinforcing to her, your shoulders follow your nose, your ribs follow your nose, and then sit in, back her up, back her up two-handed, roll her around and lope the other way. That's great. And we're going to have her nose in. We're going to pretend that she's washing out to the side too far. Now pick her up, please. Square her up. You notice she sits down. She really rides with her feet and both legs. She's collecting that horse up and following the nose. Good. Stop straight, back, and head. Does that help? Get that horse following their nose. A lot of times you get the nose on the barrel end, but the butt's still way over there. So go as slow as you have to be perfect, and ride the outside of that horse. Other questions? Yes, ma'am. You'll have to be just a little louder. Perfect question. I love your questions today. Stop by the booth because I think you didn't get a hat or a shirt, so come by my booth after. I'd be happy to give you one. So, how do you progress a horse from trotting the barrel to loading the barrel? Taylor, how about you come on over for us? Yes, sir. How do I progress that horse from trotting barrels to loading barrels? I pretty well trot that barrel pattern. So you're going to trot him on the pattern. And then at some point, that horse is going to ask to go a little faster. Taylor, you just smooch him up to a little bit of a lope. He's going to ask to go faster. And I'm going to tell him how brilliant he is. And now you're petting him to go to the third and tell him how smart that is. That's it. I build up slowly. I go as wide as them get the footwork down and get comfortable. So that's the basis of that. Go off the pattern and teach them that kiss means move your feet or I'll move them for you. And then trot a barrel, kiss to him, and tell him how smart he is for wanting to go faster. Tell him what a great idea that is. We have time for a couple more questions, but I'm also going to be at my booth, 1119. It's by the concession stand, by the crab shack. So stop over. I'm going to be here all afternoon, and I will be happy to chat with you and keep teaching. If you have another question up here, you're going to have to shout it. Oh, first and second and lead changes. We talked about that very briefly, but didn't get back to it. So, I want my horses, ideally, to change leads. As they finish the first barrel, I want the lead change to be here. So I'm going to come around the first. Ideally, this is where they sit in, change leads, and power out to that barrel. So in my slow work, I'm going to over-finish that turn. I'm going to come around here, whether I'm walking or trotting. 90-degree turn here, pick up the left side, go straight across to my next 6-foot mark. So I've done that in a walk, I've done it in a trot. When I load that pattern, well, that's a terrible idea. You do that, please. When she loads that pattern, she's going to lope around it. Little simple change there after the first, and you'll want to stay two-handed for this deal. Let her have a big pocket. She's going to stay two-handed. She's going to ease her around the first, break her to a trot, pick up the left side, and lope across. That's how I teach the lead change there, and I will do that at slower speeds. Then, when I add speed, I'm not asking for a lead change. Again, I'm going back to praying that I stay out of their way. When I make a run, they can change leads wherever they want. I've instilled it here, but there are horses that will use that turn, use that lead change to come around that turn. So I don't argue with them on pattern, but I will, in my slow work, reinforce that. And that's important too. A horse that changes leads late, a horse that has a style I don't love around the barrel, like the one Gelby and I run that's really front-endy around the barrel. All my slow work, I'll pick him up, show him the right spot. When I run, I get out of his way. But if I stayed out of his way all week, he'd become a barrel crasher. I'm going to school him the way that I want him to practice, and then I'm going to let him make his run. Good. One more question before we go? Yes, ma'am.
Where are you located, and do you take horses in for training?
Awesome. You can be on the sales committee. She wants to know where we're located and do you take horses for training. Yes, ma'am. I am out of Binghamton, New York, upstate New York. I do train some outside horses. I have a stallion that I stand that we believe in very strongly. I've got clinics. I love doing clinics. I love teaching. So we've got a clinic next weekend that you can get in on. Any of the products that I sell stuff that I use and love first. I swear by Dutton Wits and love them. That's what these guys are wearing. It's a nice bit that's easy to step up from as we need to. So yes, clinics, training, lessons. I just love teaching. Booth 1119 by the concession stand. What else? What bits do I recommend was a question. So you got to come back to the booth because they're going to kick me out here. But the Greg Dutton, he's a gentleman in New Mexico, really great little mom and pop store down there, handmade lifetime guarantee bits. Stop over. I love talking bits. It's kind of an obsession, so I would be happy to talk about that. I should get out before they kick me out. So thank you all so much for coming. Woo!
Have a nice answer. Thank you to Nicky Kurty.